Okay, everybody, it's time for another 2021 NHL Draft prospect profile, and today we are going to be talking about Matthew Beniers, who is one of the top forwards available in this year's NHL Draft, maybe the top forward available in this year's NHL Draft. And we're going to take a look at him coming out of the University of Michigan here and take a closer look at what he brings to the table. Before we begin, I just ask you to please subscribe and hit that thumbs up if you haven't. It helps the channel so much and is greatly appreciated. But let's get started here. Taking a look at Matthew Beniers. He is a center coming in at 6'1", 174 pounds. Played with the University of Michigan last season in college hockey. He had 24 games played, scored 10 goals, 14 assists for 24 points, and a plus 21 rating. He had a phenomenal year as the top center at Michigan. I have him ranked number 2 in my 2021 draft rankings, and his average ranking among the 5 that I averaged together, Bob McKenzie, Craig Button, Sportsnet, Elite Prospects, and McKean's Hockey. His average ranking comes out to 2.4. Obviously, very highly touted player coming out of the University of Michigan, just like his teammate Owen Power. And some of the parts of the game where he really excels, his hockey IQ. This is one of the biggest things about Beniers that has been talked about, and if you read up on him, that is always one of the first things pointed out. He is an incredibly smart player, and not just offensively, but in all over the ice in every aspect of the game. His hockey IQ is absolutely through the roof, and he uses that to make plays, to be in the right spot, to make the players around him better. His intelligence and what he does on the ice makes his all-around game significantly better than it would be than if his IQ wasn't as high as it was. So his hockey sense and hockey IQ are absolutely massive. He's a tremendous skater. Just watching him play, watching his film, watching him play in games, his skating is absolutely phenomenal. He can speed the play up. He can slow the play down. He loves tempo changes. It really messes with defensemen because they don't know if he's going to just come at him full speed and try and burn him around the outside, or if he's going to slow it down and step back and try and cut to the middle. Like his tempo changes are incredible. His ability to use his not just straight ahead speed, but his quickness, his agility, his shiftiness to his advantage. It really makes him a great carrier of the puck and really allows him to open up space and make plays. Speaking of making plays, he's an incredible playmaker. And a lot of that has to do with the first two things that I just mentioned, his hockey IQ and his skating ability. He has the speed to go around defensemen. He has the agility and quickness to kind of make more stop and start kind of plays. He can really open up space with his cuts. And then that opens up passing lanes that he finds because of his incredible hockey sense and hockey IQ, where he can send the puck through traffic and make great tape-to-tape passes. He goes to the net. He can find the puck in front. He can score, too. He's not just a pure passer. He can score as well. He doesn't have a booming, nasty shot. He's not like an Austin Matthews with his shot or anything like that. But again, he finds the puck and he finds the right place to be on the ice. And that allows him to score goals, and it allows him to make great passes. And his overall playmaking is phenomenal. He's going to become a really, really good player at the NHL level. But I think one of the biggest things that sets Matthew Beniers apart from many, many young players coming into the league is his defensive game. We are looking at somebody who could become one of the top two-way centers in the NHL. And again, defense is generally something that comes later for a lot of NHL prospects. And a lot of young players struggle defensively when they come into the league, especially if they're high-octane offensive players. They have the talent, they have the skill, but it takes them a little bit to learn the defensive game. There are a select few players that right out of the gate, even as a teenager, have the defensive side of playing a two-way forward position down. And those are players that oftentimes become Selke Trophy guys and guys who are not only nominated for that award, but win that award. And we'll talk about that when we talk about his NHL comparisons. But his defensive game is already at a very, very high level. Much more mature of a player than a normal 18-year-old is. And that puts him at a huge, huge advantage entering the league when you already have the defensive side of the game down that well. And that is awesome to see. I mean, absolutely awesome to see. And I think that is going to make him an extremely effective two-way player right out of the gate. And that brings us now to NHL comparisons. And the two guys that are constantly brought up when talking about Matthew Beniers are Jonathan Toews and Patrice Bergeron. And those are two guys who are two of the best two-way players we have seen in the NHL in the past 15 years. As far as defensive, not just defensive forwards, but highly skilled offensive players who also play elite defensive hockey as a forward. Jonathan Toews and Patrice Bergeron, they've both won Selke trophies. Bergeron's won 4 Selkes. I think Bergeron might be the best two-way forward in NHL history. He's certainly top 3. And just that level of player is so crucial to a team. And, we've seen the success that Bergeron and Toews has had in their careers. They've both won a Stanley Cup. Toews has won 3. Bergeron's been to 2 more Stanley Cups. He's won 4 Selke trophies. It's just, when you're getting compared to guys like that, that is something where, obviously the expectations are going to be high, but you have a skill set that you could become one of the top players in the NHL. And that's why he is ranked so highly in this draft. And, looking at the possibilities here, I am so excited to see what Beniers is able to do once he does make the NHL and start playing in an NHL lineup, because, you're looking at a guy who probably not going to be a 100-point scorer, probably not going to be a guy that puts up, a point per game in the NHL. But neither's Patrice Bergeron, neither's Jonathan Toews. I mean, you're looking at a guy who's probably going to be around 70 points, but bring an elite defensive game from the center position. And that is going to make him extremely, extremely valuable. And I would not be surprised if he does turn into a future Selke Trophy level two-way forward. And I think you're going to see great things out of Beniers at the NHL level. So he is also coming out of the University of Michigan, just like Owen Power. And for me, he is the best forward prospect in this draft. I cannot wait to see him. Because it was an odd year this year, and it was a shortened college season, and I'd almost like to see him play one more year at the University of Michigan. I just want to see how much he can dominate college hockey. And then I think it's not going to be too long before he's in the NHL, because he's such a smart player and because he already has the defensive side of the game down so well. He doesn't need, obviously he's going to develop a lot more, but he's not going to be he's going to be an asset to the NHL lineup sooner rather than later, because he's such a smart player, and he's not going to be a defensive liability, which sometimes young players, they have to learn the defensive game before they become full-time NHL guys. That's not going to be an issue with Beniers. So I wouldn't be surprised if he is in an NHL lineup. Maybe not this coming season, but the year after. Definitely would expect to see him there. And I am super excited to see what he does at the NHL level. But he is ranked number 2 for me. He's the top forward in this draft, in my opinion. And I absolutely love what I've seen from him so far. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon merchandise store donation link and channel memberships are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.